Okay, so page 8. Today we're going to talk about how to solve when we have variables on both sides of the equation and not just on one side, which we've been working on for the last couple of days. Okay, so let's say I have a scale right here and notice they're balanced. So, but then if you look at it, this side looks like it has much more items than this side. However, they're balanced on both sides, which means that these blocks are worth something. Right? It's probably heavier than these balls, which are 1 gram each. So we want to figure out how much does each of those blocks weight for it to be balanced. So, sure. So I don't know how much those blocks are weighted. So let's say each of those, I'm going to call it X. Okay. Okay. If the blocks are X and these balls are ones, what expression do you have for me on the left side? I have 4 blocks and I have 6 balls. Yep. Okay, so x plus x plus x plus x plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So what's x plus x plus x plus x? Isabella? Yeah, so on the left side, I have 4x plus 6. What about the right side then, Harshan? 7x, right. Notice the scale is balanced, which means it's equal. Okay. What's different with this equation than the ones that we did in the past is now I see variable on both sides. Thank you. So these are the 3 steps you want to follow to solve equations of this kind. So when you have variables on both sides, you want to follow these 3 steps. Okay, moving all the letters or variable terms to the left, move all the numbers to the right. When you move something, just like when we did before, you have to change the sign. After that, you collect the like terms, and then lastly, you divide to solve for what x equals. Okay, so if we follow these steps, I want to move my letter term to the left, which means I'm moving this 7x to the left side. When I move this 7x to the left side, what happens to it? It becomes negative. Yeah, it becomes negative 7x. What about the 4x? Did I do anything with it? No, so I leave it. Okay, and then the 7x, as Fossil said, it becomes negative 7x. What about the 6? When I move it over to the other side, it becomes, Kavya? Negative 6. That's right. Okay, I did my first step. Numbers to the left, letters to the left, numbers to the right. Now, second step, collect like terms. So what is 4x minus 7x? Isabella? Good. And then right side, negative 6. Okay, and my last step is to divide. What am I dividing by? Kavya? Positive 3. Positive 3 or negative 3? Oh, negative 3. Why is it negative 3? Because right here, I have negative 3 times x. So opposite is divide. Right? If I divide and change the sign, I would have doubled it. I would have undid it twice. Okay, so that's why I'm dividing by negative 3, because the opposite operation here is from multiply to divide. So what does x equals? X equals 2. Yeah, that's it. So that means each of these blocks are worth 2 grams each. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 8. 8 plus 6, 14. So the left side is 14 grams. Right side, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 2, which gives me 14 grams as well. So that's why it's balanced on both sides. Okay. So now that you get the idea of the scale, let's just try to do it mathematically. Okay, without drawing a scale or balance or anything. Okay, so example 1, I have this equation. Following my 3 steps, move the letters to the left, numbers to the right. So what would my first line look like? Let's see. Okay, Cheryl. Yep, so what am I moving to the left? Yeah, and when I move it, it becomes, right, it becomes minus 4x. What about right side? The 2 becomes negative 2, right? So 10 minus 2. A common mistake people do is they do 2 minus 10. All right, remember, you're not moving the 10. The 10 is already there. It stays. You're changing the sign on what you're moving to the other side. Okay. Who has good mental math? Okay, Fazal. 6x minus 4x. 6x minus 4x? 2x. And 10 minus 2? 8. Good. See, your mental math is good. And then the last step is to divide. So, Nikon, 8 divided by 2. 4. There you go. So, x equals 4. Okay. In this question, will I get full marks? Yeah, I need to verify. Part B says verify your solution. So, how do I verify? Nathan? Yeah, in the original equation. You don't want to go from like the second step or third step. You want to sub it into the original. So, original equation, I had the left side is 6x plus 2. The right side was 10 plus 4x. So I'm going to replace the x with what? What am I replacing the x with, Parshan? 4. Yeah, because that's what we said it is. So if we are correct, left side should equals right side. 6 times, so Parshan, I know your mental math is good too. 6 times 4 plus 2? 26. Okay, what about here? 4 times 4 plus 10? And so what does that mean? They're equal, and your answer is correct. Okay. If I ask this part on the test, you definitely want to verify your answers because you get marks for it. Even if I don't ask that and there's time left, you do still want to do that. Okay? Because you could hand in your tests to me knowing that you got perfect before I even mark it. All right. This chapter, the really good thing about this chapter is you can know that you got perfect before I even mark it. Okay. So I want you guys to try this one then. Try example 2. Take 30 seconds. Try example 2. Let's see if you guys can do it. Move letters to the left, numbers to the right. Okay, Johnson, let's try this. Afnan, do you have a pencil? Let's use it. Where's your pencil? Yeah. Hey, Yara, let's try it too. Oh, did you try it? Let's try it. Spencer, how about you? Let's try this question. Let's try this question. You have it in your book. Yeah. So everybody is trying example 2. Okay, I see that Kavya has an answer. I see that Fazil has an answer. So a question like this should take you no more than 30 seconds to do. Okay, I see Johnson got an answer. Okay, it's not a race, but I just want you guys to know, like a question like this, how long it should take you. So definitely no more than a minute. Okay, Johnson, what answer did you get? C equals 3. C equals 3. How many of you got that? Okay, this looks good then. Okay, let's see what we did. Okay, Kafia, you can explain it for us.
First, I moved the 2C to the other side, so then it became, and I moved the 7 to the other side, and then it became negative 3C minus 2C equals negative 8 minus 7.
Yep.
And then negative 5C equals negative 15, and I divided it, so then C equals 3.
Okay, good. Remember here, you're dividing by -5, not positive 5. So when you do that, you get C equals 3. Good. So without me asking how many of you also got 3, what I could do is just really quickly in my mind. -3 times 3, -9 plus 7, -2. What about the right side? 3 times 2, 6. 6 minus 8, -2. I know the answer is correct without verifying it with the class. Okay, so that's why, like when on the test, if you have time left at the end, this is what you want to do. Okay, awesome. Looks like a lot of you guys understood that. Let's move on. Okay, to this part, example 3. Okay, example 3, what's different? Yep. Fractions. Who doesn't like fractions? Yeah, nobody does. I don't like fraction either. Okay, there is a simple way to get rid of fractions. There's 2 different methods. This first method right here is when you have fraction equals fraction, so another method. So when you see a fraction equals a fraction, what you want to do is just cross multiply and then divide. Okay. Jeffrey, do you know what cross multiply mean? What does it mean?
Multiply the first number. I forgot it. Okay, numerator by the second number's denominator, and then you do the first number's denominator by the second number's numerator.
Yeah, cross multiply really means, as it says, cross multiply. So you're multiplying across diagonally. Okay, so Jeffrey, what is 3 times x? Yeah. Okay, and then you have the equal sign in between them. And then Ben, what is 2 times 9? Yeah. Okay, now doesn't this look just like what we did up here? So my last step would be just to divide. So divide by 3. And remember, whatever you're dividing, that goes to the new denominator. That's what you're dividing. So a lot of people still do like 3 divided by 18. That goes to the bottom. So x equals 6. Okay, nice and easy. What about B? Does it follow the same format for fraction equals fraction?
Yeah. Because like 3 is equal to 3 out of 4.
Excellent, right? So the 3, I can make it as 3 over 1. Now I have my fraction equals fraction. And then I can cross multiply. Okay, Kafia, finish up this one for me. 3 times r is?
3r.
And then 1 times 81?
81 equals, so then r equals 27. Divide.
Excellent. And that's it. Okay. So when you have fractions, you can do this method where you fraction over another fraction, cross multiply, and then divide. When you have variables on both sides, then we can follow these steps of moving letters to the left, numbers to the right, collect like terms, and divide. Okay, because today is a short class, I'm going to break the lesson into 2 parts. Tomorrow, we're going to do examples C and D and page 9. Okay, so I'm going to save these 2 for tomorrow. For the rest of the class, please work on questions, just questions, not page. Questions 4 to 11. Questions 4 to 11 on the next page. Okay, so questions 4 to 11 on page 10 and 11. All right, again, we'll do this part tomorrow, and then I'll assign the rest of the homework for tomorrow. Okay, sounds good. And make sure you do these, because once you understand the basic of solving equations, it makes doing these ones a little easier. Okay?